Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Lapstone Podcast. My name is Andrea.
And I'm MJ.
And we are so excited to be here directly after the Daytona 500. We will get into that, promise. But we have some other things to cover first that we're just going to blow right through. Don't even worry about it. It'll only take a second, you know? It'll be painless, quick and painless. And we're also going to be promoting ourselves, of course, and telling you to be sure to give us a 5-star review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, subscribe to our YouTube, do the usual things. You know what I mean? It really helps us out. And we can get into it by our one piece of F1 news, which is just you putting a note in our shared notes saying that Alpine race suits look like crop tops. Do you want to speak on it, MJ? You're the only one that had thoughts on this in between the two of us, so I'll let you go for it.
The Alpine race suits look like crop tops, and I like it. It looks
like it.
Like the Johnny Depp in the 90s, like wearing it to like football crop top. Mm-hmm. I think it's fun. I like that it's black and pink. They haven't won me over. Like, I still do have a very personal vendetta against them, but Fair. I like it. That's all I have to say.
We did talk about this offline. There's like a weird trend going on with the race suits in F1 this year where they're putting like their full fucking names down the legs of them. I don't know if that was like required or if it's like a trend alert thing where it was like they all separately thought to do that and then it happened that they all did it.
Weird.
Super weird. The worst is steak.
Yeah. It's so bad. And it's the thing that I find really weird is it's their first name. That's
it says like Gabrielle.
Yeah, or like Nico. And I'm like, awesome. Nico isn't what it's going to say on like the live timing. Like, put Hulkenberg on it at least.
I think that they maybe want them to like be like, we're on first name basis with them.
Oh, they're like friends.
They're friends. My friend Nico. Hi, Nico. Just so good out there, bud.
I know he's Nico because he's wearing a name tag.
Wait, maybe they're like Helio Castroneves clocking in with their uniform. They have a name tag.
I love that. I could get behind that.
We'll talk about him in just a moment. You guys thought we were going to start talking about NASCAR. Wrong. You still have to talk about IndyCar. And IndyCar was a little bit spicy this week in a way that I hated. It was like drama, but I didn't feel good about it. It wasn't like a fun reality TV drama. It was tragic and sad. I cannot wait to tune into the Speed Street podcast on whatever day they upload it because Conor said he's going to clarify everything on there. But basically what happened, if you don't follow super petty cryptocurrency news, wouldn't expect you to, Conor Daly was supposed to be sponsored by a cryptocurrency that goes by the name of Polkadot. I guess he actually previously worked with Polkadot. I didn't realize, I think his Indy 500 ride last year was sponsored by Polkadot. Yeah. And this year they were intended to be like full-time sponsors of his full-time season. The way that this cryptocurrency thing works, however, is that all the people that are bought into the cryptocurrency get to vote on this OpenGov model, they call it. And it's basically the people with lots of the currency vote on how the currency is run. And so this idea of sponsoring Conor was put through as like this referendum they could all vote on. All these people worked super hard on it within the Polkadot currency to like justify it to the shareholders, essentially, of like why this is a good idea. And then this one guy, I think his name is Mark. Everybody say fuck Mark.
Of course it is.
Yeah. He comes in at the last minute and he opens it up. He doesn't even read the referendum, according to Conor. And he just goes, sports sponsorships are stupid and they don't help cryptocurrencies grow. So everybody should vote against this. And then everybody starts voting against it, which it's like, is he right? Maybe. I don't care though.
What helps cryptocurrencies grow? Like pump and dump scams? Pump and dump
schemes? It's a fake currency. It's already not, it shouldn't be growing. It's bad and it's not real. That's the first problem. I don't think Conor Daly had anything to do with that. But essentially Conor was asking for a $3 million deal. And they worked on this like crazy proposal to basically like be like, here's how him working with Polkadot last year grew the brand. It is actually insane how much promo, like when they laid it all out that he did for Polkadot, like he was out there hustling in his little Polkadot gear, okay? He was all around town doing news stuff, like he was on the 100 Days to Indy, like he was doing everything and he was promoting Polkadot. And so they were like, this is a done deal, this is so good. And then out of nowhere, this smart guy was like, fuck no. So then what happened was, and this was on the very last day that they were voting to approve it. So it was like literally like 24 hours before it was supposed to be a done deal, and they were like well ahead of the vote. This guy ruins it in 24 hours. So then Conor is trying to like fix it, and he apparently like met with this Mark guy, and the Mark guy was kind of like telling Conor, like, I didn't even really read it. I'm just like against it on like principle. And Conor's like, well, we worked really hard. Like, here's all the things that we did for Polka Dot in the past. Here's why we think like it's a good idea. Like, can you please just like fucking read it? And now he's beefing on Twitter with this Mark guy.
Hell yeah. Take it to Twitter.
Yeah. Because like, all of these Polka Dot people are like, this makes us look really bad. If like people now realize that Polka Dot isn't good on their word, like you could at the last minute get this sponsorship deal ripped out beneath you. Like, what does that say for Polka Dot? And Mark's like, I don't give a fuck. And Conor's like, you suck. And that's what they're beefing on Twitter about.
He's doing so much like worse publicity for Polka Dot than like the initial sponsorship was going to be. Like he's throwing, because the only reason I know about Polka Dot is because of this issue. And now like, well, not that I'm a cryptocurrency person anyways, but immediately I'm like, yeah, fuck those guys.
And there's this tragic Zoom call with like all these people being like on this call where they were supposed to do the final vote. And they're like, Conor, we're so sorry. Like, you put months of your life into, like, getting this deal closed. And in the last minute, like, it's getting ripped out from under you. And Conor is so professional in a way that is almost detrimental. He goes, yeah, no, like, it happens. We knew this could happen. That was part of this open gov model. It's really sad. I'm probably definitely going to lose my job. And I have no idea what my future is going to look like. And everything is crumbling around me for sure. But, like, thank you so much for your time. And I was just like, oh, I think I have to go. I think I hate it here. I think I hate motorsports. Like, this is so sad. But apparently he will be at St. Pete's. I think it's like more of, he's not going to immediately lose his job. I don't want people that are newfound Conor Daly fans to be like, oh, what's the point of watching? I think he probably has a couple races to figure out what his sponsorship situation is going to look like. But from what I understand, the car and the fire suit and everything have the Polka Dot logo on it. So it's just going to be blank. That's kind of sad.
I mean, if he could still drive the car, even if it's blank, it'd be a little less weight.
He said he's going to take the Polka Dot fire suit to Goodwill for somebody to find, and
that
it's going to be like a relic of what would have been. Which is like
kind of funny.
Again, like Conor is just like making this so tragic. I'm sorry, my cat just keeps like opening and closing the door. Can I help you? It's kind of an in or out situation. Okay, you chose out. He's going to open it again. He's gonna open it right back up. Hey, don't even worry about it, guys. He's gonna open it again. But it's really tragic, and I feel really bad for Conor. He did say something on his podcast, though, about being on like a very important call when he was supposed to be getting the call from his stepdad to tell him that he was going to become the president of IndyCar. And I wonder if this was the very important call. I wonder if he was like trying to sort out his sponsorship woes. And his stepdad's like, hey, Conor, just calling to tell you I'm going to be president of IndyCar.
Yeah, he's out here fighting for his life, trying to keep his job. And his dad's like, promotion. Guess what? Big news. I got a really good job.
I got a really stable and good job in IndyCar. That sucks that yours is not like that. But it's very strange to me, like, Conor's, like, sponsorship woes. Like, I'm very new to the lore of Conor, but it seems like he has consistently had sponsorship woes his entire career in both IndyCar, NASCAR, Truck Series, whatever he tries to do. And I'm just like, why do nobody want to sponsor him? Like, I don't really understand. Like, he seems very popular and likable to me. He's, like, literally, like, a hometown hero for IndyCar. Like, every time he goes to Indianapolis, he gets, like, all these storylines about being the underdog from Indianapolis. Like, I just feel like this is an easy dub. I need other brands to realize that this is an easy dub. But what is your take on Juncos Hollinger now maybe being in the business of selling their charters to Prema? This is another thing that people are conspiratorializing that could happen.
I have not heard anything about that at all.
That's okay.
I don't think that's going to happen. I think if anyone's going to sell it to Prema, it's going to be Dale Coyne because they've kind of already been talks about it. I don't know why Juncos Hollinger would.
So the rumor is that because they, right before this news about Conor came out, they announced that they were shutting down their Indy Next program. And then they have Stingray Robb, bless his heart. He's a paid driver. He's not there to produce results. He's there to produce money because they need money. And then Conor has no money, that they might be like, you know what, this is really tough. And Prema seems interested in paying money for charters. That's what people are saying. That's what the streets are saying.
I don't know.
Buying?
I don't buy that. I don't really buy that. But, I mean, maybe, I guess. I think they'll be fine, though. Especially, something that I thought was interesting is when this news about Conor Daly's financial situation kind of came to light, Juncos Hollinger and IndyCar started posting a bunch about Conor Daly. Did you notice that?
No.
So it kind of made me feel like I think he'll probably be fine.
They're trying to put some stuff out there for him and be like, hey guys, he's really nice.
Look, he's got a good personality. He wins at ovals. He's got a podcast. Maybe buysubmarines.com or buildsubmarines.com could sponsor him.
Oh, yeah, they're not an IndyCar. They seem like a plus. Maybe. Hey. Also, I saw Dirty Mo Media is selling Speed Treat merch. Maybe that could just go directly into his seat.
Guys, if we all go to dirtymomediamerchandise.com, I don't know what it is.
After you listen to the podcast.
Listen to this entire, or keep us in one tab, click over, and everyone buy one piece of Conor Daly merch and leave a tip.
Yeah, if they have a tip thing, I would go ahead and just rack that baby up to like 100%. 100% tip on whatever that t-shirt costs. Probably $80 for the t-shirt, right? That's a price for motorsport t-shirts these days. Rack that tip up to 100% just for good measure.
Yeah. Do you want to see Conor or not?
Yeah. I mean, what do you guys want? Speaking of IndyCar news and people losing their seat, what if somebody gained a seat this week? Oh my God. Our boy Rinus is employed.
Thank God. Truly.
Thank God.
And I'm so glad they announced it at least a couple weeks before, because I was like,
that is like so beautiful of Dale Coyne.
Tires are fully going to be on track at St. Pete before we know that Rinus, who they've been like doing their little like secret lovers thing. I'm so happy for him. I'm really excited.
He's going up against Jay Gable, right? Yeah. That's his teammate?
That's his teammate.
Okay, we're going probably Rinus. We'll wipe the floor with him a little bit because he's a rookie.
Well, okay, but
he's a good rookie.
Keep in mind they're both driving Dale Coynes. That you got to keep in mind. They're going to be fighting for like 26 and 27. 26 and 27. 26 and 27th. I know. I'm trying to think of going back and forth between NASCAR's charter system to IndyCar's charter system to how many cars are going to be on the grid, how many cars can qualify for each race. I'm like, it's just numbers and it's higher than 20. That's all I know.
It's whatever the back of the grid is. That's where they'll be. But that could be some fun fighting.
Yeah,
they still got to battle it out with their teammate, you know?
Yeah.
What if Rinus VeeKay comes back for like a revenge tour?
Revenge on who? Rossi?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, let's make it revenge on Rossi. Yeah, he just like comes out and he like is like doing super good in a Dale Coyne, and they're like, wow, he's doing really good in Dale Coyne, and it's almost like he's coming to the front just to crash out Rossi. It seems like he is pushing this car to the absolute limit, getting it towards the front just to crash out Rossi. That's so admirable. I would love that. Come on, Rinus, make it happen. He's coming for you, Rossi. Be afraid. Okay. NASCAR. First Daytona week for the Lapstown girls. Generally, how are we feeling coming out of it? Like, give me like 3 words tops.
I am exhausted. This has been the longest week of my life.
Yeah.
It's been so fun, but just like the fact that there's events every day and they're all so late at night, and then we watched ARCA, we watched Truck, we watched Xfinity, we watched Cup Series.
We watched literally every single race this weekend. Yeah. That's actually insane of us. Why did we do that? We could have cut some of these. Yeah, we could have probably cut some of them.
We didn't need to watch Truck Series for sure. ARCA though.
That's the one ARCA was fun. I would have cut
and
Truck.
It was
so let's start with ARCA.
Long.
Yeah, ARCA. Yeah. I said something to you like, man, I wish I knew what ARCA was.
Yeah.
And then you responded with, I think it's endurance racing, because why are we like an hour and a half into this and we've done 8 laps?
Dude.
That was insane. It was, okay, it was a little bit of like total amateur hour stuff. Like it was like really dumb mistakes, absolutely crashing out the entire field.
And I'm going to speak on something I don't know, but I do feel like ARCA is a little bit more of like, you can kind of find a ride. Like, it's not like there's no training academy to get an ARCA. Once again, speaking on something I don't know. But a lot of the drivers out there, I was like, hey, bud, is this maybe the first time you've ever done it? Like, Cleetus McFarland, is that his last name? He's a YouTuber. He's kind of like the Mr. Beast of like motorsports, and he has like 4 million subscribers on YouTube. He decided to do the Daytona 500, and while it was amateur, first of all, it was really fun to watch, but I was also like, there's just a YouTuber out there. Like,
yeah,
that's his like
YouTubing. Well, okay. And I watched his YouTube vlog about it, and they told him like you can't film inside the car, and he was like, I'm gonna do that anyways. And so they penalized him for it, and then he was like, please, and they were like, I think what happened was NASCAR realized they could get some clout off of him, so they decided to put their own cameras in there and stream it on the NASCAR YouTube. And they had like an onboard of him that had thousands of viewers on it.
No, 56,000. At the time he crashed the second time, there were 56,000 people watching just him in ARCA, and most of it was under caution. I was like, this is insane. And I had never heard of him before. I was like, you guys really should have pumped that guy up.
Yeah, crazy. I think he entered under his real name, so I think people didn't know if it was him, and then like the gig was up when he showed up, and they were like, oh, turns out Garrett is Cleetus. And then the word started spreading like wildfire, and all the people that follow him on YouTube started tuning into the ARCA stuff. But he seems really funny, and he did like the best bit you can do on live television, which is after you get crashed out and lose, hop in the commentator booth. Hop in there. So good.
When he interviewed out of the medical center, he was talking about, he was like, yeah, there was a crash and I just kind of weaved my way through it. And I was out there thinking I was the best driver there ever was. I was like a bald eagle running down that course. It was so funny.
He said, I was too good. They had to take me out. Which is like, if I was a driver, that's how I would respond to anybody crashing into me. I'd be like, I was too good. They had to take me out of the picture. I was threatening them with my amazing driving skills, and they had to take me out.
He did a pretty impressive drive, to be fair. After his first crash, he was able to like maneuver it, get it down the pit lane, and then of course he got crashed out by the same person. But she took out many people, so don't feel too bad. The statistic is pretty likely.
Yeah,
lovingly.
She was having a moment. Was that enough. The girl who looks like Kristen, Catherine Legg's like cousin? Like they look the same almost.
Yeah.
Was that who crashed everybody out?
I think it was Amber or something.
Yeah, she came on and she kind of was like, yeah, I did that. Which is like honestly fair. Like what else is there to say? They were like, hey, what do you think about where you crashed everybody out? And she's like, tough.
She should have gotten, that guy was too good. I had to take him out.
Yeah, she should have been in on the bit. That would have been really good. Yeah, Catherine Legg was in that race. Unfortunately, she did not make it past the first crash. I think she was out of there real fast.
She was collateral, like first 3 laps. Elio was also out on that same crash. Came back in though.
Wait, this is the common thread between all the races that we watch, which is that Elio was having bad time. Bad time. Okay, so let's talk about, we watched the truck race. Nothing to say about the truck race. It was just like
there's still some,
you know what I mean? There's some,
it was like there was the controversy at the end because the Parker Kligerman, his truck was running too low. But besides that, I think Truck Series is very appropriately
I think that's what's
hyped.
going on over there. I think that's what's going on over there. I think like I was watching and I was like, oh, okay, that's what's going on over here. I think I'm good. I might tune in again in the future, but as far as Daytona goes, there was enough chaos happening elsewhere. I just frankly didn't have the patience for it anymore. I was like, you guys are just being ridiculous out here. This was after we watched 2 rounds of the duels. So we went live during the duels. It was very fun. Thank you to everybody who tuned in. The first duel, I think we had a really sick time. I think we had a really good time. It was fun. Bubba won. I don't remember too many high points from the duels, but the ones that we did have came from Duel 1. All of our low points came from Duel 2. Duel 2 was, I think, made in a lab to make us sad. So what else? Okay, we had everybody that we liked crash out in Duel 2. I think SVG got wrecked, and it took out everybody behind him, including Castro Neves. He crashed a couple times in duels, right? Oh, yeah. Duel 1.
He was in Duel 1. He allegedly had a broken... No, stop. He had something with his toe link. That was the issue.
I think that was a lie. That was made in a lab.
No, stop. He's really... Stop. He's good. He was good. He was good.
I think what happened was he allegedly had an issue that maybe Trackhouse made up so that he didn't feel bad.
Yeah.
He kind of was avoiding a crash, it seemed like, and he went, oh, there's like an apron down here that there's no crash happening down there. I should go down there. The problem is that the banking is at an angle that you can't really just casually go down onto the apron. In fact, it shoots you right back up to the wall super hard, really hard.
You only make that mistake once, though.
Yeah, he did not go down there again. The rest of the weekend, he was like fucking going as far away from the apron as possible. They'd be like, are you sure you don't want to try like the lower line? He was like, nah, it's really close to that apron. I'm not really interested. Down there. Yeah, the end of Duel 2 was basically just everybody got crashed out, and Austin Cindric won, which was really stupid because he was already... Yeah. So everybody crashed. Okay, how about that? Everybody crashed. And then we have, who was it? Was it Eric Jones? Mm-hmm. Who we thought won. Because he crossed the finish line at the time where the crash was happening behind them. He celebrated. I was so happy. I was like, I don't really know who Eric Jones is, but he looks like he needed this. Like, he was like basically tearing up with joy. They gave him the checkered flag. He was doing the burnouts. It was like such a great fucking time. And then they were like, wait a second, did they fly the caution light before he overtook Cindric? Because if so, that would mean Cindric won. And we were like, no, stop asking fucking questions. Eric Jones won, okay? And then, of course, the Penske people were like, no, we really think that you guys put out the caution light before Eric Jones passed Austin Cindric. Turns out that was the case. They made Austin Cindric walk out. This is him walking. They made him skedaddle across the grass by himself, no car. Go up to the official stand and be like, can I have my checkered flag? And they're like, we already gave it to Eric Jones. You're going to have to find him and take it from him. Eric Jones, they have cameras in his face, and he literally goes like this. For the audio viewers, I'm sorry, you are just not going to be part of this. He goes, and then he starts basically crying. And that's when I decided, I don't like Austin Cindric without a mustache. He seems really mean.
Evil. He's evil. It's like actually evil not his fault at all. And we're like, that's the villain. He did it.
Here's what's frustrating is that the day before, two people in qualifying had already locked in their positions for the race. And it was Chase Briscoe in pole position and then Austin Cindric in the second spot. Austin Cindric had no reason to be in the duels. Chase Briscoe in the first duel just pieced out. He was like, this seems like people are being shenanigans prone, and I don't want to be in any shenanigans. He pieced out. Austin Cindric would not piece out. I was like, bro, you have a spot.
He wanted those points.
So he won the duel just to get the points and took that away from Eric Jones. And I honestly, you're right, it's not Austin Cindric's fault. You know whose fault it is? You know whose fault it is.
Roger Penske's.
Roger Penske's. It's Roger Penske's. I know Roger Penske was like, you're going to have to go out there and crush Eric Jones's dream. And the fact that they made him walk across the whole fucking infield area, like, it was a really far walk from where Austin Cindric was. So it was, like, really awkward. And we were like, there's no way he's walking all the way up there to get this checkered flag. And he was. And then there's no fans there because the fans have already decided that Eric Jones has won and left. He, like, throws his hat out in the crowd. Some random guy catches it. He doesn't even look like he gives a fuck about Austin Cindric. And I was like, now Austin Cindric's having an awkward time. It was just all around bad vibes. We went to bed being like, that was the worst time. I had the worst time. Any other duels thoughts?
Well, you didn't even talk about the crash.
Okay, talk about the crash then.
It was a mess. It was literally all of... Well, okay, so yeah, earlier in the race, we had talked about Daniel Suárez got taken out. I don't remember who did it. I feel like I should. It doesn't matter. All I know is that, yeah, I wasn't feeling too good after that, because Elio was also out.
Yeah, so we were like, this is going
Trackhouse
rotten.
was down by 2, and then the crash, I'm trying to remember what caused it. I think it was
somebody fucked with SVG.
Oh, it was... Someone had bumped into Christopher Bell, and then Christopher Bell had gone back into SVG, so it took out Christopher Bell and SVG. It took out Riley as well.
It took out, was the other track, where was Ross? Ross?
He was fine. He survived.
Okay, so he's the only Trackhouse person that survived. I was like, wait, was Ross in that too?
Well, okay, everyone survived, like Carr.
Right.
No one died.
Good clarification.
Right? I just get a little nervous.
Alex Bowman, I think. Who else had like backup? People had to like start going, okay, we're going backup car mode. Like a lot of people in Duel 2 ended up racing the actual race with their backup car because it was that much of like just carnage of cars. Was
really bad.
The only thing good that could have come from it was Eric Jones. And then they
ripped that away from us.
So we were like, damn. Daytona's fucking brutal. Like, this was our first time watching it, and we're like, this is wild. And Trackhouse, yeah, like we said, Trackhouse had a bad time. So imagine when we woke up the next morning to see the worst Trackhouse news. And in a time where Trackhouse was down, like, Trackhouse has already been like, we're using all of our backup cars, like, everything is going horribly wrong. We had to build Elio Castroneves' car up from the fucking wheels. That's all we had left. And what happens, MJ?
The next morning, there's an announcement.
It's a press release, bro, guys. It's like a really so official announcement.
It's so bad. And turns out, effective immediately, it said, Pitbull is no longer an owner of Trackhouse.
Horrible. And he's there to perform, too.
He literally... performed
was
today
there in person. He was there in person.
Everybody going through tough times, believe me, been there, done that.
Just leave your team while they're down. Then you won't be in tough times anymore.
And there's a lot of conspiracies as to why this happened. Probably the one that I saw that I've decided that I'm going to believe is something's happening with Daniel Suárez's seat. And Carlos Slim is he also kind of has a hand in Daniel Suárez's career somehow. And he was the one who had Pitbull join Trackhouse, and so apparently, allegedly, in Minecraft, he was like, yo, Pitbull, you gotta get out of there. I don't know. It's just,
there's a couple
what
things
a devastating weekend.
First of all, Carlos Slim, bro, is so juicing up these people. Like, this guy seems really sick. Like, the way I read it, he literally just told Pitbull, like, I know you have no interest in getting involved in any NASCAR teams, but you're gonna have to give a fuck ton of money to this team because my boy's on there. Which is like, why do people I'm sorry, Carlos Slim is not like here, like backing like the most obvious of choices for drivers. Like, it's not like he's like, hey, I have this cool like dude, Joey Logano, that just won the championship or anything. No, it's like randos that he's like, with peace and love, you gotta give a fuck ton of money to Trackhouse. I love Daniel Suárez, but you know it's true. Like, that's such a random proposition. Like, why did Pitbull say yes to that? That's so weird. Second of all, I think that Trackhouse is trying to Kimi Antonelli, my boy Conor. And they're basically being like, listen, we like you, Daniel. It's just that, like, if we do not give Conor a cup seat, somebody else will. Which is, like, kind of what they did to, like, Lewis with Kimi. Is, like, you're gonna have to go. Because, like, we have this boy, Kimi. He's the next big thing. That's what they're doing with Conor. For those of you guys that are newer to NASCAR, Conor is, like, 18. He's a child. But, like, they're so obsessed with giving him a cup seat, like, right away. Which is fair, because I do think it is true. He will go elsewhere if he can't get a cup seat with Trackhouse.
Well, I think he'll get sooner. I think he'll get a cup seat with Trackhouse. I don't think that they're going to do a mid-season swap.
No, but I'm saying, like Daniel's going to go eventually.
I think Conor. He's going to go next year, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think he has a I don't think he has a seat with Trackhouse next year. Hopefully somewhere else.
I've heard
Hopefully
rumors that other people are like probably going to be cool with taking him because he's not bad. That's the thing is that like he's not like the star of Trackhouse. He's not like he's like very middle of the road. You know what I mean? Like it seems like he's like, you know, sometimes he has a really good day, sometimes he has a really shitty day. But like the way Trackhouse is going, they're like already all in on SCG and Ross. They're not going to like cut them. So it's like, well, that means you got to go, Daniel. Sorry. We got this Conor kid. He's really sick. You're just going to have to live with that.
I think, and the way Daniel's talked about like Trackhouse and signing his contract for this year, it's like, it's really a 1-year thing. Like,
it's weird how he's so open about it. Like, where was I watching? I think I was like listening to like the Teardown pre-Daytona show or something.
That's where it was.
And they were like, talking to him, and he's like, yeah, no, like they don't really fuck with me, and I don't really fuck with them. We're just like kind of hanging out. And I was like, I don't know if you're supposed to tell us that.
That should be a secret. Don't say that on the podcast. It's like anytime a race car driver gets on a podcast, you're like, should you be saying that?
I don't think you're supposed to tell us that.
I don't think I should know that.
So a couple other little mini points before we get into the Xfinity race. Ride the Dente song, which is kind of tied to the ARCA race because the ARCA race was called the Ride the Dente 200 or something like that. Mm-hmm. If you're not familiar with Chili's lore, they have decided that their Presidente margarita too long to say. So they're just going to call it the Dente and you're supposed to ride it.
Hell
what
yeah.
What do we think about this? The commercials were continuous.
Oh, constantly. They're kind of doing the thing that the NFL did a couple years ago with that Burger King song, where it kind of gets stuck in your head. I mean, I was singing Ride the Dente as we were watching the race.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad song. It's just like at a certain point, it's like I've heard it 15 times today.
It's solely meant to be an earworm. But Justin Haley has the car that matches the Ride the Dente, and his little race suit, it looks like a little cowboy suit. He's got little jeans on. He's got a little button-up shirt.
And he's wearing
a cowboy hat. Yeah, and he does not give off the vibe of someone who would be like super comfortable doing that. So I'm really proud of him for stepping out of his box.
I think that Chili's is really killing the game for me personally with motorsport marketing. Like I literally I looked at Kyle Kirkwood's Chili's car and the little hidden chili that's on it, and I thought, I'm gonna need to go get a triple dipper. Like, this marketing is really good.
It's working. It's absolutely working.
So, brands, listen up. On a less good marketing note, how many Daytona 500 commercials would you say we saw this weekend while watching the Daytona 500?
Way too many. Hundreds. Even, watching the Daytona 500, watching the qualifying for the day. Like, if I'm tuning in at 10 a.m. on a weekday to watch the practice for the Daytona 500, you bet your bottom dollar I'm tuning into the Daytona 500.
Like as if I was going to forget what this all was for. I'm here.
It wasn't until, later in the week when they were finally like, oh, let's advertise Phoenix, let's advertise... Which, once again, this is not really... I'm already tuning in.
Why are we advertising races to me? I'm here.
I know. I guess maybe for the Daytona... I guess maybe for the Daytona 500, you might get a lot of, one-time watchers. But it still felt so silly to be watching qualifying and seeing that.
Okay, so I watched Xfinity for the first time. And this began what I'm calling the Haas hate weekend for me. Okay, Haas hate weekend, fucking trademarked. Andrea trademarked. Haas hate starts now. Everything was going fine for me in the Xfinity race. I mean, other people were crashing, but I didn't care. I was there for one man and one man only. And there was Conor Daly. He's right now the only Xfinity driver I'm rooting for. That could change in the future. Right now, he's all I got. We are on 3 laps to go, and he's in second place, I think. And some fucker. What's his name? The guy with the glasses. The Haas guy.
Sheldon Creed.
For no reason, he just ruins Conor's life in the Daytona 500.
There is a chance that it was Justin Allgaier.
Okay, well, I feel like what I saw, I was just going off in the moment. And I saw that little guy back there, boop, And then Conor spins around and hits the wall hard. And because he was up at the front, took out a good amount of people with him. It was not a good time. And so that started Haas Hate Week. And if Justin Allgaier was there, don't tell me, because I don't want to hate him. Just let me hate Haas right now. Fair?
You do you. Oh, my light went out.
I love that. It'll add to like the flair of the video experience for the people watching. The difference in lighting. It was all an illusion. It's nighttime while we're filming this. We both have lights because
it's nighttime. That's nighttime. How darkness works.
You guys familiar? Anyways, so I was kind of bummed about that. Justin Allgaier, though, he raced in both of them.
Mm-hmm. Xfinity and Cup.
And he was an open car in Cup. Very exciting that he made it. Do you want to show off your shirt for the video viewers?
Yeah, I'm wearing the Traveler whiskey. Well, this is as much as you can see, but just know that I'm wearing it and that I'm constantly getting texts from Junior Motorsport to come back and buy more. So
yeah, they were like, thank you, MJ, for wearing the merch that we made it as an open car. That was so sick. Very much appreciate it. They're probably going to be sponsoring us to go to the Roval as payment for the clout.
Please,
Junior Motorsports. That would be so
please.
Fun. But yeah, he was in both races and ruined my time in the Xfinity one. But I've decided to pin it on Haas because, continuation's sake, it'll come up later. So then we tune into the Daytona 500. I'm ready. I'm clocked in. I got my snacks. I got my drink. I was told that the show started at 1:30. That was a lie. At 1:30, what they intended to do was do a play-by-play of Air Force One landing. Just in case you didn't know, every 10 seconds they would cut back and they would literally be like, oh, here's a driver that we're interviewing. Hello, driver that we're interviewing. Would you like to talk about Air Force One? And they'd be like, that's a weird thing. I wasn't planning on it. I was thinking we were going to talk probably about the Daytona 500. And they're like, did you know that the wheels just came out the bottom of Air Force One and they're about to land on the runway? Which runway do you think they're going to land on? Runway 1 or runway 2? Do you want to place your bets, driver, that you're fucking interviewing right now? And then they got to go pick the man up and give him 15 laps, roughly, around everything before they start the national anthem. Captain America did really good with the command. I think he did really good. Anthony Mackie, good job. Mm-hmm. You did good. We're not done yet. We got to take another 15 laps, roughly. And can I just say, he didn't even go up on the fucking banking.
Yeah, they didn't try to put the limousine on the banking.
So, like, what are we even doing here? Like, this is fucking lame. He was just scouting things out for SVG later. Driving around on the apron. Making sure it was good for him.
Warming it up.
As we'll touch on later. SVG
laying down some rubber.
A good amount of time down there. And you're thinking, oh my God, when are we going to get started? Finally, we get started. Just in time for the rain. Keep in mind, this whole time we were fucking around before, there was no rain. We could have been doing stuff during all that time. Why did they pick to move it up an hour? Just for that, not actually to be when the race would start. It was just when the pre-show was just going to get moved up to 1:30. We still weren't going to start racing till like 2, which is exactly when the rain was supposed to start. Like, it's like Daytona 500 doesn't want to succeed without rain.
It wasn't great. It wasn't super fun. I do kind of like just make it a night race. That could be fun. But then I guess you risk pushing it to the Monday. But like
if it does rain, yeah. Well,
it's
They
Florida.
just kind of
it's gonna rain.
They ended up just fucking around for half the day anyways. And most people probably just like went and took a nap and whatever. And then by the time they came back, it was right at sunset and it was actually really cool.
It was beautiful.
There was like a little moment where they had to like go back and sit in their cars with the raincoats over. Very much enjoyed that time. It was like 15 minutes tops, and they had the track mainly dry, so they were like, it's fine, and they went back out there. But like the only good I can see of this is that we got to see them in their raincoats. The raincoats on the cars was good. That was the only plus of the rain.
I love the raincoats. And I love it when they're inside the raincoats and it's like dark and you can see them like close their eyes and like, oh, they're going to take a nap.
There's a suspicious amount of drivers who take a nap in their car, which I do think is quite funny. my stars. There's like horns honking and stuff outside. It's like, be serious, please. I'm filming a podcast. But yeah, I think the night race vibe is fun. I see why they can't just bank on it being a night race because, like you said, then it would go to Monday and it would totally fuck up things. I will say I don't think a lot of people came back and tuned in after the rain delay. I think people were done with it. And like the stands were very empty. I think people just called it a day because it was like a 5-hour delay basically. I don't know. But we got to racing. It was very boring. Is boring an okay word? Would you say it was boring? I felt like it was kind of boring. It was like the same couple people up at the front for most of the race. I think coming off of, ARCA and trucks and Xfinity, I was like, I don't know. I'm just so used to everyone crashing every 2 laps. Yeah. We were on our best behavior. Yeah.
We saw more racing than we did in the other races.
We had, Allmendinger. We placed a bet between the two of us of like who we thought would be the first one out. Both of us were wrong. It ended up being Allmendinger. What happened to him? I think he just
engine. He had engine issues.
Yeah. Sorry, buddy. And then nothing really happened until after stage 1, Joey Logano won. They do we're about to get started on stage 2. And Joey Logano's leading a whole line of cars. And then just his car can't go into the right gear, and he's totally going way slower than he's supposed to be at that point on the turn, and nobody behind him specs it, and they all literally domino. It was kind of the most comical thing I've ever seen with race cars. They hit one after another after another after another. Unfortunately, the worst of it was Ross, and Ross Chastain kind of spun out. And who did he take with him?
Was this when did he take out Elio, or did Elio?
Yeah, he took out Elio.
Yeah.
Yeah, he took out Elio because he was I felt bad because I took out my teammate.
Oh, yeah. Poor guy.
2 Trackhouse boys down immediately. Rough day. I feel this weekend, can we give an award to the Trackhouse mechanics? I think they had the toughest go at it.
Dude, bless their freaking hearts. I would have gone with Pitbull. I would have said, been there, done that.
Effective immediately? I'm no longer doing this. Goodbye. But then they went back out there. Okay, that was a little goof. Joey had many times in pit road trying to fix it. Mm-hmm. He was insisting getting back out there, insisting on it. Would not allow himself not to go back out there. He had a lucky caution that I think ended up fucking up SVG and a couple other people. And he benefited and was able to get back on the lead lap. And it's why are you here? You just had to tear the whole fucking top of your car off. How are you here? And I think that's when you and I decided that yellow and red car is not Joseph Newgarden. Mm-mm. It's Alex Palou. It's what are you doing back on this lead lap?
He's inevitable.
Here? SVG was also insistent on getting back out there, but was less lucky. I think he had more damage and just refused to let it get him down. And he spent over half of the race on the apron. I think he didn't get back off the apron ever. And you would just see all the cars going around, and you just see a little flash of white on the bottom. And it was them lapping SVG. And I think that's when he was maybe I don't like NASCAR. He was this place sucks.
This is not
his first
fun.
go at Daytona, and he's on the fucking apron. And they're probably hey, you can get back up there. And he's I don't want to. I don't want to. So Trackhouse, that's now all of their cars?
No, Daniel was
fine.
Yeah,
Daniel. Yeah. Yeah,
he got a little bit of damage. He got a little bit of damage at the end. He got hit by collateral. But yeah, they can only finish with 25%. Apparently.
Apparently. That's the rules. We don't make them, we just follow them. So then we get back. Joey's on the lead lap. And we've been pretty chill for a while. And Joey, I think, is you know what? I'm not done. I think I can still win the Daytona 500. But I have this little fucking Sunny D car in front of me that I'm gonna have to fuck up. And the Sunny D car tries to, I'm refusing to say his name because I don't care. It's like Ricky Stenhouse Jr. I don't need 3 names is too much. You're just Ricky or Sunny D guy. Sorry. And he tries to block Joey, ends up causing a crash, in my opinion. In my opinion, he caused it. Well, I don't think that's confirmed.
He had been kind of dicking around. Like him and, who was it? Was it Corey LaJoy?
Him and Corey LaJoy were fucking around. They were you could see Riley, and who else was it? That was like, you guys are, it was like Denny and Riley or something. Where like, these guys are fucking around. And you could tell they're like backing off because they're like, there's going to be a crash here. Joey was fearless. He went in there. He's like, let me take care of this. And what did he do? Made it way worse, unfortunately. And caused a massive crash. But that crash was fun. Because remember, we went and we looked and every single one of our faves got out of that crash. No problem.
They snuck on by.
I was like, is that Christopher Bell sneaking on by? Oh my God, that's Bubba sneaking on by. Is that Riley sneaking on by? Oh my God. There you guys go. There's Daniel sneaking on by. Everybody's like just getting through here. And I had a little fun with that crash, I'm going to be honest. Because normally my faves, they get caught up in it. So that was like, let's do more of those. That was fun. They like showed the list of people that were out. It was like 10 people. And you and I went, I don't care about any of those people. Sorry.
Well, I think that's the one that took out Ryan Blaney. Wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. Ryan Blaney got... Yeah, we were like, okay, I'm sorry that happened to Ryan Blaney. But the rest of this list, we're fine with. Like, I'm sorry to those people and their fans. But we were riding high. We were having a good time. It was so fun. And then everything went wrong. Everything went so wrong. Denny gets all the way back up to the front. We're nearing the end. It's him and Austin Cindric. It's going to be one of those two that wins. What else happened?
I think, are you missing the Bell one?
That's what I'm about to touch on.
Oh. Because I thought it was... okay, yeah. Keep going.
So we have Denny and Cindric up front. They're fucking around. They're having a good time. One of them is going to win. Right behind Denny is Christopher Bell, I think.
Christopher Bell's leading.
Really?
Yeah.
He was?
That's why it really sucked.
Okay. You're making it hurt more upon reflection. And this is where Haas Hate Week begins again. Fucking Cole Custer and his fucking dumbass is like bumping on Christopher, and it's clearly not going well. Christopher is like not.
He's very wiggly.
His
car cannot handle it.
Things are not going well, and you would think that would mean maybe we should figure something else out here, but that's clearly not how this works. I should just like learn to grow a thicker skin because that's not how this is going to work. And he hits Christopher Bell again. Christopher Bell slams into the wall. He goes back and hits Ryan Preece, almost takes Ryan Preece out. That car flipped like a bajillion times in probably the worst way it could have flipped. Poor Ryan Preece is having like an existential crisis, being like, why the fuck do I continue to get in these race cars? And it's all Cole Custer's fault. Period. Would you like to add anything, MJ, about this crash?
It was really bad. It was really bad. Then they kept replaying it because I don't know whether the broadcast just couldn't figure out anything else to play. They couldn't just show us like a live stream of SVG down 6 laps or something. They were like, no, let's watch this like it was a bad crash. And I feel so bad for Ryan Preece because he seems to always on the super speedways get these bad crashes where he flips. But the car had flipped. It ran sideways for a little bit, like it was on the door of the car. And then he got out of the car and he was just like, I don't know how air.
It caught air really weird, and it was like hovering in midair for like a really weird amount of time. And it's like this car is going to come down eventually. It was hopefully not going to be on the roof, but it was. And it was a really horrific crash, and they played it probably 100 times. And then when they finally decided to stop playing it, they cut to him coming out of the medical tent area. He was good, but he gives the most devastating line where he was like, again, when that happens, all I can think about is my daughter. And he's like, I walked away from this one, but I can't help but to think, like, next time I won't. And I'm just like, fucking A. This is all Cole Custer's fault. I'm just kidding. That's a lot to put on him. But, like, it was, like, really, really, really tragic. Do you blame I was trying to talk to you about it. Like, I just feel like there comes a point where, like, I don't blame him at all for being like, what the fuck is my luck? Like, I cannot keep doing this. Like, I don't really understand how drivers continue to do stuff when they clearly have, like, this type of luck that nobody else has. Like, nobody else is flipping their car like that every other year. But he is. Like, how do you keep doing that? Like, that's insane. Why does it keep happening to him? He's so nice, too.
It's very weird. It's very weird that it keeps happening to him.
Ryan Priest, buddy, I don't know what your retirement plan looks like, but I would
No more super speedways, bro. You can do short ovals. You can do road courses. That's it from here on out.
Yeah, I think, like, you need to, like, go back to RFK Racing or whoever you race for. I don't know, buildsubmarines.com and say, can you guys put a little extra in my retirement? I think this is the last go at it. I think I've got one more year. And that's it. And it's sad, too, because he was really fast in, like, qualifying. And
he's very good. He's a great driver.
He was, like, at a couple points, like, running up at the front. And I kind of thought, like, oh, he has luck on his side. Wrong. So then I think we had started the shenanigans for the remaining of the race. I think at this point we had maybe 8 laps left. And we just knew, like, every other lap was going to be a yellow flag. We get to the very end. It is, again, Denny and Austin Cindric up front. And I feel like it really seemed like Denny was, like, having a good time. The Toyotas were, like, in their little line. We were going. We were having a good time. And then it seemed like Cole Custer's fault again. Also could have been Chase Briscoe's fault. They get a little squirrely at the end and they decide, what if we make these 2 lines 3 lines? And that just seems like a bad idea to do on the last lap at Daytona. That just seems like what is the reason why we have these crazy big crashes at the end. And everybody got taken out except for some reason, William Byron. And he just skedaddled through there. No problem. From like 8th place or something to win it. Which was really sad because Tyler Reddick was right behind him. And I was really kind of hoping that they would call a caution because everybody was crashing behind them. And then, like, let it be, like, a one last little go at it between, like, William Byron and Tyler Reddick. So it really felt like a race at the end, not just, like, whoever survived. I think only, like, a handful of cars ended up finishing the race.
Yeah, I think it was, like, 6 or 7 that finished.
And... yeah. What were you saying?
It was the caution thing, and I mean, maybe it's just because I'm a new NASCAR fan, so I don't really understand it, but I feel like that crash was pretty comparable to what happened in duel number 2, and they threw a caution there and didn't let them.
Maybe so that's why they didn't this time, is because people hated when they did it the first time.
But, like, the whole issue with NASCAR is, like, their inconsistency. That's what that would... So I don't really understand why they didn't throw the caution. Not that, although William Byron probably still would have won, but at least
it just would have been a little something,
a little bit more consistent.
Yeah,
just even in the weekend, just consistency in the weekend would have been cool. But
yeah,
that's a lot to ask for NASCAR. It's baby steps. They're a new organization, so you got to give them some breathing room. They just got here.
So I don't know how you're supposed to feel after your first Daytona 500. I mean, like, this has been really hyped up to us by NASCAR fans. I think Daytona 500 is a hell of a lot of fun if it's your fave. It sucks for everyone else. I mean, I think the people that love William Byron are probably going to be like, this was the best race ever. I love Daytona 500. Going to put it on the Tubi channel. Like, they're super fucking hype. I feel like everybody else, we're just kind of walking away from it being like, well, that really sucked. That really sucked. All my faves crashed. Nobody had a good time. Everybody's, I guess, moving to Atlanta being like, what lessons do we take away from this? It's like, it seems like every driver's like, that Daytona, I tried really hard and then everything went to shit and there's nothing I can do about it. And that feels very defeatism, like, feeling somehow. It's like, why even try? Like, what's going on here? I don't know. I'm having like an existential crisis about NASCAR right now.
I don't know. I kind of liked it. I really liked, I mean, I knew my faves probably weren't going to win, lovingly. One of them's not very good on ovals and the other one's just not very good. But I did like watching like the drafting happen. I thought that was really fun. Seeing who was good at it and who was not was also pretty obvious, and being able to point anything out, being a new NASCAR fan, is always fun for me. Being like, whoa, Kyle Larson's not too good at this drafting thing. That was fun. Being like, Denny Hamlin, wait a minute. He's pretty good at the super speedway thing. That was pretty fun. The crashes, I do think it's kind of, I don't know if this is like dark to say, but it is kind of fun being like, oh no, was that one of my faves? Being like, they haven't showed any of the replay yet. Like that little, like little bit of hope, and then either like immediate fuck or like immediate like, oh, okay, skirted on by. That was kind of, it was overall, I think it was fun.
It was fun.
I had fun throughout the whole week. Would I have loved maybe anyone else to win? Maybe. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
How fun would it have been if Denny would have won? That would have been really fun.
That would have been really fun. That would have been really fun.
I would have had a good time.
It just wasn't in the cards for him. Or even Tyler Reddick, who is so close.
Yeah. I feel like it is, at points, like you said, it is fun being like, okay, some people, this is their strength. But then I feel bad when those people who've been doing consistently good get fucked. Like, as much as I would have, like, Austin Cindric did really good this whole fucking weekend. And then in the last lap, it does not matter. Austin Cindric does not matter. Yeah, he walks away with no points on that. I mean, he maybe got like a stage win or something. No, he didn't. He got some stage points, I'm sure, but he didn't get a stage win. Because the two stage wins were Logano and Blaney. Also, two people that got absolutely fucking wrecked out. Nothing to show for it.
The other two Penske's.
Yeah. And then there is some other points where you see people that you wouldn't necessarily maybe, they're like kind of new faces or something that are up at the front. Like there was a couple times where you and I were like, Riley's in third.
How did he get up there?
Yeah, and the commentator's like, is that Riley? Riley's in third. This is fun. But then you get so nervous for them because it's like you're in like the danger zone. There's times I'm like, go rock in the back with Carson Hocevar, who has not come close to the pack this whole weekend.
Dude, we have to. I'm going to keep an eye out for like some kind of post-race interview with Carson Hocevar the whole weekend. I kid you not. I put my multiplier on this guy in fantasy. The whole weekend, he was miles behind everybody else. Like, consistently running in the back. And I don't think, as far as I know, because like in practice he was fine, I don't really think that there was any issues with the car.
I think he just didn't want to be up there. I think he literally was like, I don't care to be up there. You guys are not having fun.
Truly seemed like a choice. So I am excited. Maybe I'll just message him. Be like, yo, dude, all that time iRacing and you couldn't even get close to any of the other cars. Why did we put that like sim rig in your trailer if you're not gonna use the skills you getting on it?
He was in good spirits. Like he was not at all down all weekend. Like the fact that he was literally in last place during all the duel and everything like that. He's like, yeah, guys, having such a good time playing my sim. Like everything is super fun. And we're like, buddy, you're nowhere near the race. You're nowhere near the race. What's happening back there?
So confusing. Happy for him though, I guess.
Crashed out in the end anyways. Part of me, I thought maybe it's a strategy where he like watches everybody crash ahead of him. He's so far back that he can easily weave through the carnage. And then he gets like top 5 on accident because everybody else is down. But then he ended up getting crashed out anyways.
It perplexes me. I'm going to go to bed thinking about that. What is Carson Hocevar doing?
I think he was I think he was like working on like a new strategy. I think maybe he was like, I'm not good at drafting or something like that. And he was like, let me try a different strategy that nobody's ever tried before. And if it would have worked, we would have been singing his praises right now.
I mean, we were prepared to. The whole time we were like, so I think he's cooking. I'm pretty sure he's cooking back there. Like, he's in the kitchen. Everyone else is just waiting.
Because, like, he did it in the duel and the race. Like, we thought this must be something.
It was a strategy. I don't know. Guys, I don't know. If anyone has any answers, please comment down below.
We need a PR statement from Spire Motorsports, because what the hell is going on with Carson?
Immediately.
So, yeah, there was times where we got to see some newer faces, at least for us. Like, that, not the usual stars of NASCAR. The people that, like, would get up there and you'd be like, what are you up to? Some of them, they would get up there and I was like, this is not the place for you. You are bad at leading this pack. You are not doing good. Get back there. But then, like some people, they could really hang and it was really exciting. So, yeah, I think we had overall a good time at our first Daytona. It's just like right now, directly after, I think I'm just stunned in awe that William Byron somehow won 2 Daytonas in a row, seemingly in similar fashions where it's just kind of like survive, make it there, and then you win. He also I think was just as stunned as we were. After the race, they were trying to interview him and he's like, had a good team, had a good car. I'm like, you just won the Daytona 500, dude. Like, do something exciting. I don't know. Any other takes, MJ, on Daytona?
I don't know. I don't know if it's... I mean, it was a good race, but I think I might like other races.
Can't wait for Coda.
I'm excited for Coda. I'm excited for Atlanta next weekend.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
It'll be fun.
What did we think about that? They kept showing this like little major motion picture all weekend of So Close, Atlanta, and it was so cute. They made Ryan Blaney, Kyle Busch, and Daniel Suárez go to a movie theater together to watch their little photo finish, and they were just talking about it like little friends. And like, hey, that's me. I remember that.
That was a really interesting idea, and I don't know, like, where the heck? Sorry, I was gonna not swear, and then I went for hell anyways. Where do you watch that? Like, they only showed it, like, after, it was, like, 11 p.m. They're like, Duel 2 just finished. Everyone just crashed. Look at this cute little thing we did. And I was like, I'd love to watch it. Where do I, like, watch? Like, do they put that on the television? Oh my God. Wait, this whole week is going to be Atlanta races on the Tubi channel.
Oh, okay. They're definitely going to play it on the Tubi channel. Tune into the Tubi channel and see if it comes on, guys. It looks really fun.
Long.
They also have their crew chiefs there too. They're like sitting in the movie theater together and they're like, hey, do you remember when we thought we were going to win the race but then Daniel Suárez did? That was so crazy.
It was a really cute idea. I like that.
Also, Daniel Suárez still putting out vlogs. They're really delightful. Turns out he brings his cat and his dog with him. When there was the giant rain delay, they were like, are you going to go back and like really focus up for the race? He's like, I'm going to hang out with my dog. And they were like, watching film, right, or something race related. He's like, maybe. No promises. My cat and dog are back there. I love them. Love Daniel Suárez. Any other? Oh, we have a new bit. We have a new segment for Laps Down, and it is me and MJ have a lot of opinions about fan favorites. And I just figured every week we'll talk about who this week earned our fan favorite vote, and then at the end of the year, or whenever they open voting for fan favorite, we have to vote based on whoever has gotten the most points from each of us throughout the season. MJ, would you like to submit your very first fan favorite vote for the season? Who is it, and why did you pick him?
Yes, so for this week, I have chosen someone who I maybe have paid zero attention to in my entire time of watching NASCAR. But all of a sudden I had like a really big soft spot for him. I'm choosing Eric Jones.
Oh, he deserves it. He's really such a sweetie.
The nation wept when he got his win taken away from him. And I still haven't recovered. So I think everyone kind of rallied behind him. He's my fan favorite for this week.
Love that.
Who's your fan favorite for this week, Andrea?
My fan favorite this week is actually somebody who is probably just like somebody I would have voted for a fan favorite, but they really earned it this week, and that's Bubba Wallace. It started off strong with the teardown where they talked about how he accidentally dropped Ryan Blaney's wedding ring when he was in Ryan Blaney's wedding. He also talked about how he didn't want to do any of the best man responsibilities for Ryan Blaney's wedding and then ended up doing them all anyways, and I think that's very relatable. I also love when he won the duel, he decided to Lion King his newborn baby in Victory Lane. That was really good. I love that. And then, just to top it all off, he was like pretty cheery this weekend. I mean, he was like playing around with the cameraman at one point, like doing a weird stare down into the camera for like a very prolonged period of time. He was in his little McDonald's suit. He also, I think, was taking a nap in his car at some points. Like, he was just in, like, such a vibe this weekend. I wish it would have worked out better for him. But at least he can walk away from Daytona knowing that he earned his fan favorite vote from me. And that's really what it's all about. So, anyways, if you guys want to play along, we would love to have your guys' fan favorite votes throughout the season and see if they change for all of us. It'd be really fun if we have a fan favorite who does something very controversial halfway through the season, and then we all have to do a quick detour because everybody hates them all of a sudden. That would be really fun. So let us know who your fan favorite for this week is. But yeah, that's Daytona. We also had 2 Formula E races. Admittedly, we didn't get to watch very much of them because they were competing with our hardcore Daytona 500 attention. But I'll probably go back and rewatch them because they're free on the Roku channel. One of them that I did watch, the second race, Roland won. He's kind of insane. He's kind of having an insane season so far. I think that Roland might be just doing a little Formula E dominance thing right now. He used his attack mode to get ahead of everybody and then just hung out 5 seconds ahead of everybody for the rest of the race and finished with such a noticeable lead. It was one of those things where it's he crossed the line and then the commentators are cool, good for Roland. Anyways, there's still a full-on battle happening for the rest of the podium positions. And it was a really fun race to watch. Sam Bernard also had a really good race. I think he came in second, but it was a fun battle at the end. So if you guys are looking for some more racing to tune into this coming week, go to the Roku channel, check out Formula E. They're doing some fun stuff over there. And it was a good weekend, I think, for them. I will be checking it out as well. And then next week we have Atlanta.
That'll be a fun one.
And that's the only thing that we have. We don't have any other racing next week, just Atlanta. So we're going to be clocked in with NASCAR. That's exciting. All right. Anything else we want to plug? Is that it?
I think that's all I got.
Okay. I'm excited to tune into the Tubi channel this week and see all about Atlanta so I can be ready to go.
I love the Tubi channel. I love it.
There's a new feature as well in NASCAR, the Hotline. I can't wait to call into the NASCAR Hotline and see who's on this week. This week it was William Byron. That seemed a bit fucking rigged.
Interesting.
Scripted.
Now that you mention it. That's crazy.
But you press different numbers and they'll tell you what time the different races are on, like the truck race and the Xfinity and stuff, and what channel they're on. But there's some other options. What did he talk about? His vacation?
Yeah, you press number 5. I've done it a lot of times, but you press number 5 and he goes, "Do you want to hear about my off-season vacation?" And I go, "Yeah, William Byron, I'd like to know where you skirted off to in the off-season. Where were your whereabouts?" So you press number 5.
What were you doing?
Yeah, where were you, huh? And he tells you about his trip to Japan. Well, you guys won't get to hear it because this is going to come out after. He tells you about his trip to Japan and how he likes sushi now and how he tried all this new cuisine. And then, if you press number 6, he goes, "You want to hear a fast fact?" And
then it's the dumbest fact ever.
It's did you know we used to race on Daytona Beach in
yes,
1960 something? And I go, "William, were you there? Were you racing on Daytona Beach, William?" Who
raced on Daytona Beach? You didn't.
Who? Anyways,
No,
it's really,
so
really
true.
fun. I think if you go to the NASCAR, it's on their social media, you can find the number, and apparently it's gonna switch up when you call. I assume by week because it's got the schedule in it. So I'm hoping next week is Daniel. Oh, you know what they're probably doing? They're probably doing the winners from last year. You think?
We're gonna have a lot of Kyle Larson weeks.
Hell yeah. I'm sure he's thrilled to do those.
Ecstatic. He's so excited. This seems like an easy dub to get our fan favorite vote. Do something charming on the hotline. You're gonna earn fan favorite votes for sure. So if you guys haven't recorded yours already, just keep that in mind.
He nearly won my fan favorite this week because of that hotline, and then he won the Daytona. So I said, "You can't have both." The Daytona.
Really
he won the Daytona.
You know?
Yeah. You're good. You're done.
You're good. So on that note, I think that is another successful episode of Lapsdown in the books. And we will catch you guys next week. Goodbye. Say bye, MJ.
Goodbye.